The entire concept of negotiation is presenting value to the other person. Let me repeat this so you can understand what you're doing when you're negotiating. You're presenting the value to the other person of what's in it for them. Can you explain how you can buy a building and pay yourself with a triple net lease? You also talked about the power of the lease option. Please explain further. I'm new to commercial real estate. I saw a video on YouTube, but it only went through part of the strategy you have. Can you explain in details now? Well, very simply, you're getting a building empty. You have a list of tenants. If you're part of the JV, we give you over 4,500 national tenants that are expanding. You call them, you tell them you have the building, you send them a video. There is a whole step-by-step process to do. All you need is one tenant interested. When the tenant signs the lease, it's usually 10 to 15 years. And they pay you triple net of tax, insurance, maintenance, so you have that income for a long time. Once you get the tenant in, you have a corporate guarantee. It's guaranteed by the corporation. It's very powerful. I'm negotiating a deal right now. We're supposed to close on Monday. I'm really hoping we finish everything. There is a last-minute question on something. But that's the thing. Got the building. Well, I had the building. They called me for the location. In the conversation, I was listening carefully, and they said, we're going to be expanding in the area. I said, what do you mean by that? Like, you're expanding, getting my space? That's your expansion? He said, no, we're going to get also another space. I said, where? And they said, where? And I said, well, I have a property next door. Would you be interested? I didn't have the property next door. I had to tell them that. So would you be interested in the property next door? It's a standalone building. They said, oh, of course, that's a lot better than one. Guess what? Called the seller. They were in Colombia. I negotiated. They couldn't understand anything. It was very convoluted. The owner is 86 years old. And I worked through all this mess, got the building, and now we're giving it to them. So I'm buying a building at $700,000. The lease is going to be $90,000 a year. It's going to make the building worth $1 million for whatever. And all is putting the pieces together of creating a triple net lease income for yourself. The power of lease option. Lease option is when you lease a building. So somebody wants to sell the building. So I go in and I say, would you like to sell the building? Yes, I want to sell the building. Okay, can I give you a deposit for the lease and lease it and give you extra money as an option to buy the building? So you get some cash flow now, and I'll have the option to close later. Now, you have to present the deals. The entire concept of negotiation is presenting value to the other person. Let me repeat this so you can understand what you're doing when you're negotiating. You're presenting the value to the other person of what's in it for them. What's a win-win? I know what's good for me, but I don't want to. If I talk to them about myself, I think it's going to be great for me, because when you give me a lease option, I'm going to come in, I'm going to fix the space, and then I'm going to line up these incredible tenants. He's going to say, what? So what do I say? I said, here's what's in it for you. When I do a lease option, I'm going to give you an extra deposit that you will keep. I will give you monthly payments so you have cash flow. I'll also give you a non-refundable option money so you get to keep it. So now you have the option money. You lock in a price that we're going to pay. You're going to give me access. I'm going to lease and pay you a lease payment, and I'm going to improve the space at my risk and cost. And if I don't exercise my option to close within a year or within 8 months or within 2 years, whatever it is, you keep all the improvements I've done. You keep my deposit. You keep all the lease payments I made that are non-refundable, and you keep the option money. The person has a glitch in his brain. He doesn't even want to ask me what's in it for you, because it's so much for him or her that they think I'm an idiot. Of course, I have an advantage over a normal person because I don't look so smart. And I'm not that smart. And the minute I think I'm so smart is the minute the game is over. They will have me for breakfast. I assure you, the minute you think you're too smart, you're not. So I say it with a little doubt, and I say it if like, what if? Why is what if? Because some people get emotional about their properties and they flip out. And I've seen people lose it. Okay. And if he flips out, I say, no, I just said, what if? I was just considering it. But if you don't consider it, let's talk about something else. But I plant in their head the seeds of creativity, the seeds of flexibility. And then they start thinking, well, maybe we can do it. Listen, how about if you give me money now and you close later, because it's better if we close in January, not this year. So I don't pay the taxes this year. It's November already. And okay, well, would you give me access? And I'm telling him the same thing, but I'm using different words. I'm not using lease option. I'm using, can I just rent it now and then give you a rental payment? Because he didn't, a lease option was too advanced for the guy. And I'm talking, if somebody is like a doctor is very methodical. These are science people. These are not going to tell you, listen, you have a headache, we need to put some herbs and we need to do some smoke, and because I'm superstitious. It's a doctor. He's going to say, let me diagnose this, let me do an MRI, let me do this. So when he is selling his practice or is building where his practice is, I go in and I talk very specific, because based on this person, he's very clean, white, black and white stuff that I cannot be too creative with. So I say, can I access the space, give you maybe a rental payment? So I try to choose a lingo that helps, because nothing is more dangerous than using advanced words to somebody who doesn't understand. And I wish the doctor will use the same words with us, because they start saying stuff like, based on this x-ray, you have that. What? That's a Latin word for whatever. You just need an aspirin. Now, let's say the person has the building. I told you a person has the building for sale. So I approach them, I want the lease option. Let's say the person has the building for lease. So I go in and I say, you want to lease it? I'm happy to lease. How much do you want? He says, I want this. So I say, no, I would like to pay that. If he says yes, great. Then I say, would you give me also an option to buy it? If he says no, I said, oh, well, in that case, would you give me an option to buy it? So either way, they go yes or no. My end goal is to buy the building, but I want access first. Anytime you have access to the property to buy it, you change the term of the time to become your friend. Why? Because now I have access to the building. I'm not in a rush to go get the loan. I can negotiate loans. I can fix the building. Instead of putting all my money in the down payment, I'm improving the value. I can find the tenant, line up all the pieces and make it happen.